Big news in the NBA. Giannis is looking for a potential trade. Reports from Shams Charania and ESPN have told us a lot of different things, but there's a ton of just the reporting itself, but also the different things happening with the Bucks and with Giannis and his family. It really shows that a trade is coming for Giannis. The first is just a report from Shams Charania saying that Giannis is open to that trade, that his group is looking for potential trade partners. And so this whole league is going to be watching this situation, likely going to put a lot of different potential trades absolutely to a halt. So, for example, Lauri Markkanen, who was probably the biggest trade possibility out there, if he was even a trade possibility, is going to be a secondary thought because teams that are looking to make a big move are going to look at Giannis. Teams like maybe the Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder, maybe the San Antonio Spurs, teams that are looking to bring on that big time piece are now going to be seeing if they can go and get Giannis. Now, if they go and get Giannis or go make offers, they're going to have to outbid. A lot of teams would love to bring on a star like Giannis Antetokounmpo, top 3 player, whether you think he's the best or top 3 or top 5 or whatever. There's no argument that he's up there and he's a perennial MVP caliber player. He's going to bring a haul, at least a pretty good haul to the Bucks. Now, other signs that this probably is absolutely going to happen is one report is that Giannis's family is now living full-time in Greece. They're not staying in Milwaukee, which is interesting. If you look back at the Gordon Hayward move when he knew that he was going to leave Utah, Robin left early from the Jazz. That was just a real big red herring there. And now we're seeing that with Giannis' family. If they were going to stay in Greece, that would be somewhat interesting. But what that tells me is that they're just waiting for the trade to happen, and then they will move back to wherever Giannis goes. That's what that tells me. To me, that's honestly the biggest sign that a trade is going to happen. Giannis has said that he wants to see how the season goes, this first quarter of the season, but to me that is basically just cover for what's actually going on. And that's something we've always got to remember, is that some of these players will say things, or maybe their reps do through reporters like Shams, to kind of smooth the waters a little bit, like, oh, we're gonna see how it goes. Is Giannis gonna be swayed by Miles Turner and Kyle Kuzma and Cole Anthony? I don't think that's a team that's going to make him think that he can move beyond the first round. And the other thing that makes this pretty clear is when Giannis was asked about this in training camp, he did not deny it and did say that he's been weighing his option and he's going to look at how things go this first quarter of the season. He did not deny it. So, based off of that, Giannis is likely looking for trade partners. If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm basically putting the word out there to everyone that he's available and send us bids, and we're going to go for the best offer possible. Giannis can tell them where he'd like to go, and he can try to sway things, but that has not really worked of late for different players. A perfect example is Donovan Mitchell, who was behind the scene multiple times requesting a trade with Utah. This is very similar to the Donovan Mitchell situation, actually. Donovan Mitchell, behind the scenes, was telling the Jazz he wanted a trade. He made 2 requests to the Jazz to make that trade before the Jazz traded him to Cleveland. But if you remember, Donovan wanted to go to the Knicks. Giannis, who apparently there were trade talks between the Knicks and the Bucks this last offseason, it didn't work out. This is like deja vu with the Knicks and trying to trade for a star. That didn't work out. Giannis was happy going to the Knicks. Now they're just going to look for the best trade partner possible. Now, for teams trying to trade for Giannis, you do got to remember that Giannis is in his early 30s. This is not, 27 or whatever year old that Donovan Mitchell is. This is a player 31, probably has another contract's worth of elite level play, but a lot of what Giannis does is athleticism based. Yes, he can shoot a little bit mid-range. He's experimented with the 3-point shot, but what makes Giannis incredible is that combination of size, length, athleticism and strength and just his insane motor and drive and competitiveness is what makes him so incredible. And it's not to say that he's not skilled. Like, his ability to go to the basket and finish is unmatched. But he is a player that really relies on that athleticism, and as he gets older, it'll be interesting to see how that changes. Now, if I'm a team going for Giannis, it means you've got to make sure that when you make the trade, you keep enough of what you have to be able to win, right? If I'm a team out there, there's some teams that might be interested. I already mentioned the Houston Rockets. They're absolutely going to probably try, although they already traded for Kevin Durant. Oops, they might have wanted to wait. Maybe the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are already great, but they may have a piece they'd be willing to trade. Like, would the Bucks be interested in a Chet Holmgren type of move? Maybe. Teams like the San Antonio Spurs, we know they had interest in Giannis. If they could somehow pair him with Victor Wembanyama, that would be pretty scary. The question is, will the Bucks get something back that they want? I'm a Jazz fan, and I think if the Jazz wanted to, they could definitely throw a package at the Bucks that they might be interested in. But what does Utah give and also stay competitive to win a championship? Because that's what Giannis wants. I mean, if you have a team built around Giannis and Lauri Markkanen, is that good enough to win a title? Good enough to probably make the first round of the playoffs, but what do you have left? And you do have to have a team that's semi-built around what Giannis does. I mean, Brook Lopez was such a good fit for this Bucks team because of his shooting at the center position, which allowed an open paint for Giannis to do work. A team like Utah, if your center's Walker Kessler, that's going to be a crowded paint. That might not be the best situation for Giannis. So it's a tough trade to make, but if you've got the right pieces and you can make it work, it can be an absolute game changer for all of these teams out there. They just got to make sure that, one, they have the pieces to trade without giving so much back that you're just kind of in the same situation the Bucks are in. The Bucks have Giannis and a bunch of things that aren't that great. I mean, their second best player now is Miles Turner. And so who knows if a team out there can make a trade, are you still good enough to compete after you do it? Because you can be sure the Bucks are going to be asking for a lot. So really interesting, guys. Let me know. What's your trade idea below? What would you be willing to do to trade for Giannis? Whatever team you're rooting for, let me know. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the members. Thank you to the All-Stars. I will talk to you next time. Jazz play tomorrow!